Greetings. This is Robin the Hermit. In our previous session, we liberated the invisible wings sleeping deep within our flesh, the iliopsoas muscle, and learned the sovereign gait that refuses to kick the ground. However, simply acquiring wings is not enough to completely command the void. Today, we descend into an even deeper realm. It is the reconciliation with gravity, the absolute cage from which you cannot escape for even a single second since birth. And it is the awakening of the multidimensional spiral drive of the pelvis, which converts that very gravitational energy into pure propulsive force. Modern civilized humans are unconsciously at war with the earth. With every single step you take, you slam your weight into the ground in a brute, linear fashion, attempting to subjugate the coefficient of recoil through the rigid tension of your outer muscles. This approach, which views gravity as an enemy, constantly triggers a microscopic state of mental and physical panic within your skeletal structure. In resisting gravity, your shoulders rise, your neck compresses, and your breath floats shallowly in your chest. This is the very first form of defeat for humans whose souls are being ground down by the noise of the city. The vision of the samurai, however, was entirely different. To them, gravity was not an enemy to be resisted, but an infinitely accessible, free energy source. They took the force of their own body weight, their mass being pulled toward the earth, and converted it directly into potential energy for moving forward. What is required is not muscular resistance, but the collapse of your inner center and the courage to surrender. When you reconcile with gravity, your weight ceases to be a burden and transforms into an engine that accelerates you infinitely. Where, then, is the control tower that first absorbs this gravitational energy and commands its direction? It is your pelvis. While a chimpanzee's pelvis is flat and vertically elongated, the human pelvis evolved into a bowl-like, three-dimensionally wrapped structure, the exact moment we achieved upright bipedalism. To perfectly counteract gravity from above and impact from the ground while supporting the internal organs from below, the pelvis became a spirally twisted three-dimensional structure. By nature, with every step you take, the pelvis is designed to rotate through space, drawing a beautiful, three-dimensional spiral arc. Modern humans, bound by a sedentary lifestyle in chairs, have locked this highly evolved pelvis away as a mere, rigid hunk of bone. Yet, the primordial pelvis is a multidimensional cradle, where the left and right hip bones, the sacrum, and the coccyx are intricately and seamlessly linked. Forward and backward, lateral tilting, and spiral rotation. When the geometric microvibrations of these three axes combine, a sacred suspension is completed, allowing the lower body to autonomously drive through space, while the upper body maintains absolute stillness. Positioned at the dead center of the pelvis is the sacrum. Derived from the Latin for sacred bone, this area is the ultimate black box in Eastern somatic wisdom. Why is it sacred? Because this very bone acts as an antenna, relaying the Coriolis force-borne of the Earth's rotation and the golden spiral, the ultimate efficiency of nature, directly into the physical flesh. By shifting this sacrum by a mere few millimeters, masters instantly rewrite the tensegrity of the entire body, initiating the golden rotation within their physical form. The bond between the pelvis and the spiral was already proven, the exact moment you entered this world. During human birth, a baby cannot simply descend straight through the mother's complex pelvic pathway. They must rotate the direction of their head, executing a spiral motion akin to a turning screw, to navigate the narrow pelvic cradle. The arrangement of seeds in a sunflower, the swirling of galaxies, and the dawn of life. Whenever nature exerts infinite power with zero energy loss, a spiral invariably manifests. When masters of ancient martial arts move not in straight lines, but through the pelvic undulation and spiral, they are aligning themselves with this absolute law of the universe. The absolute prerequisite for transmitting the pelvic drive into the material world is the complete relaxation of the hip joints. Most modern humans stiffen the area surrounding their hip joints with the quadriceps and gluteal muscles, utilizing them like rusted hinges. For the pelvis to move freely, the hip joints must permanently remain liquid. It is like the blade of a Japanese sword gliding soundlessly across ice. The deep inner muscles of the abdomen sway the pelvis, and that vibration propagates directly into space through the completely relaxed hip joints. When the center of the body becomes physically stabilized, a dramatic resolve of no retreat takes root within the human psyche. When the brain senses anxiety or fear, the pelvis tilts backward and the hips tuck away. In other words, fluctuations of the mind are always exposed physically as fluctuations of the pelvis. Conversely, when you erect the sacrum and correctly position the pelvis at the center of gravity, the panic circuits of the brain are physically severed. The lifestyle of swaying left and right based on digital noise or the evaluation of others comes to an end. You sit at your own center, attaining the immovable mind that nothing can shake. How, then, do we practice this liberation of gravity? The first phase of Protocol 3 is the gravity drop. Stand upright and completely relax your outer muscles. Cast away all conscious tension, and grasp the sensation of your entire body weight dropping cleanly from the solar plexus, passing through the dantian, and falling straight down into a single point beneath the sacrum. Do not brace against the ground. Merely align the blueprint of your physical body perfectly with the Earth's gravitational pull. In this moment, you should feel an absolute fulcrum inside you. The second phase is the golden spiral walk, spinning infinite energy outward from that very fulcrum. Utilizing the iliopsoas muscle, the Thai core awakened in Volume 12, slide the pelvis forward three-dimensionally, as if turning a screw, rather than using your feet. Do not kick the ground with your legs. The deep abdominal wires pull the pelvis from the inside in a spiral fashion, causing the legs to naturally swing forward on their own accord. When you grasp this sensation, your gait ascends from the labor of walking into a beautiful pelvic glide, mirroring the very geometry of nature.